And maybe I only just like thought of this now. Like if we design such an interactive or such a live world that thinks for itself and it knows how to like defend itself and stuff like that, it will start to identify that people are coming from this world into its world, and that the AI there is like what's actually going on, what's going on the other side in that world, and it starts asking players questions, like it disguises like them in surveys and stuff like that. The AI is just learning about our world and like how to how to enter our world, and it might like there might be maybe even a war that breaks out because that world wants to conquer this world now and things like that. And if everything's running on AI, there's certain principles that are similar and they can understand each other. But don't be scared. There are certain fail safes for that sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But there was that Tesla guy who drove his Tesla and he was watching Harry Potter or something, and there was the fail safes were all there, but he still died because the car didn't drive properly. So there's those sorts of situations that can emerge when we approach technology in world creation and universe creation. But like I say, when getting into this realm of physics and this realm, like everything is far more complicated. Like think beings can't fly and they can't shoot fire from their hands just because, and they can't just teleport where they want to be and things like that. But like that is still a danger, like a world that's wary of our world or learns of our world. But it's just gaming, it's not that serious, there's not that many psychological factors. And I'm like, no, there is. Because even if you take actors, just like Hollywood actors in the past, some of them become so engrossed or so in the part of the character that they actually believe they are that being for that period of their life. And if they've played a lot of characters like that, they do suffer a little bit of like psychological issues, like not knowing who they really are and things like that, because they've been all these different people, like they actually lived as that character for a certain amount of time while they were filming or whatever. And that's just with the movies. Now, can you imagine an interactive world where people are living as someone else for a while? Like, can have some effects. But how do we counter that, Warren? How do we counteract that sort of reaction that people are going to have mentally? And it's important for individuals to realize how cool and amazing they are as themselves. And if they have an In Your Head Productions profile, there's always a reason to come back to this world because that's where all their achievements are. They haven't just achieved so much as so and so in this game and so in that game as individuals, because in that world they are only recognized for those achievements. When they come back to this world, suddenly they have the credit for all those actions and all those achievements and all those trophies. So it's also, there's a way of counteracting by saying, by remembering how cool you are as an individual. But how do you stay sane? How will I stay sane as one? Well, for me personally, that's easy because I have faith in a creator, and I have that bond with me that will make it a lot easier to navigate and make my life a lot easier as well. Because without that, without that faith or without that knowledge, you are going to be lost and you are going to be completely torn apart by the entropy and chaos that is to come in the next few decades and even centuries. That's the truth. And this isn't a religious channel by any means, or I'm not going to speak about it for too long. Like, I can already sense some rolling their eyes or tuning out or whatever. It's just, if you ask me and you ask Warren, how do you stay sane? My answer is, it's my faith in my Creator. And that's the way I can navigate the complexity of the information coming at me. Because without that, my brain would have sizzled and fried. Like, I wouldn't have the will to go on and try and even understand. But yeah, that's just for me. It's what works for me. There's various different beliefs and various different schools of thinking when it comes to that sort of thing. It's just, yeah, I found it important for me to state that. And I found it important to state that because many are afraid. They're scared of this AI revolution and robotics and that being integrated into our society and whatever. There are many who are scared, but I'm not. I want it to happen, and I believe it's the way things are going to evolve, and I want to embrace it because it might be hell for some people, but it also might be heaven for other people. Because if we thought heaven was just a few castles in the clouds and things like that, we have severely underestimated what is possible, especially with the proof that we are getting now of how many worlds are going to emerge and erupt into existence in the near future. Sorry, we got a little bit off topic there for a few videos, but let's swing it back around into our reality. What about labs, laboratories? In Your Head Productions laboratories. But labs that do what? I don't know, they do research and study things like subatomic particles, atoms themselves, molecular research, those sorts of things, chemical compositions, as well as like field theory and like magnetism, like symmetrical magnetism and those sorts of things, as well as a robotics division as well. That is important. We need a robotics division because that's going to come into play in the future. But what would In Your Head Productions need robotics labs for? Well, it comes down to anatomy. Let's be more specific, synthetic anatomy or synthetic biology. Like, let's say a being or a body now has a metallic skeleton. What sort of wiring can go around that metallic skeleton? What sort of skin can we use to hold all of that together and make it look neat and tidy? Something that is both flexible and robust. But all of that also combines with the other labs that I was talking about, the molecular ones and the atomic ones, so that we can find those chemical compositions. This is as we move forward into cybernetics. But why is that research important? Why are you delving into cybernetics now with In Your Head Productions? Because that is also imperative to helping people. They're already starting with that sort of thing, like with prosthetic arms and prosthetic legs, or bionic arms and bionic legs that are controlled via brainwaves, via those frequencies, and it reads nerve patterns and neurological patterns and things like that. So that sort of technology is imperative. It's imperative research into helping people, which is why In Your Head Productions should have a department set aside for that as well. So as well as the stores and everything else I mentioned previously, now we also delve into that sort of research, like more serious research as well, like, or deeper research.